Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you all so much for joining us today for this live stream event. My name is Alexia, and I am the program manager of the Microsoft Reactor Toronto. I will be sharing session resources with you in the chat. But before we begin, I'd like to quickly review two items: our code of conduct and event guidelines. First, please take a moment to review our code of conduct. Microsoft Reactor seeks to provide a respectful environment for both our audience and presenters. We encourage engagement in the chat, but please be mindful of your commentary, remain professional and on topic. And secondly, our event guidelines. The session is being recorded and will be available on demand through the Microsoft Reactor YouTube channel in about 24 to 48 hours. I will share the link in the chat for our channel with you. And if you've not been on a live stream through YouTube before, please note that you must create an account on YouTube in order to access and interact in the chat. You can set that up now, and if you're unable to use the chat but have questions, feel free to reach out to us to social media or on our website. Which brings us to today's session. Today is the day 2 of the JavaScript on Azure Global Hack. I'm going to bring in our host for today, Bruno. Hello, Bruno. How's it going?
Hello, everyone. And hey, so sorry. It seems that I'm having internet issues. So if I drop out, let me know. I will be back. And yes, it's a pleasure to be here in the second day of the Hack Together. Today, we are going to talk with Avril about Copilot, which is probably the coolest developer team that we have. But before we start, let me share a little about what is Hack Together. So this is kind of the housekeeping part where we start to talk about what do we have. We are going to have in the next couple of weeks several live streams talking about different technologies. This is all about trying to help everyone to learn more. We are going to use the Contoso real estate as the main core concept where we want to grow and build. We are also going to have available for everyone a lot of materials to learn collections. And we want you to work with us, to connect with us, to go to GitHub. So if you find an issue, submit issue. If you want to participate in the discussions, we have several forums and chats open there. It's super, super fun. If you submit a contribution, you will have a contributor badge in GitHub, which is always nice. And let me also show you what we have in the Student Hub, which is a landing page, which is super high. It's kind of the entry point for everything that we have here. You have the link to register to the Hack Together, the links to access to the Learn collection with all of the learning materials, and of course, access to the Reactor events. This is one, by the way, everything is going to be recorded, packaged. So if you are watching this and pass the live events and you want to do more, you can navigate everything here. So with that said, let me bring back Avril here and we can start. So, hey, Avril, how are you?
Hi, Bruno. I'm super excited to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
No, please. Thanks you for sharing with us. And hey, it's all yours. I'm going to be in the chat. And by the way, we have other people helping us. Julia is in the back. Pablo is in the back. So you're going to see a lot of people helping in the chat. And really, it's all yours.
Awesome. Thank you. So welcome, everyone. I'll be talking a bit about GitHub Copilot, just like Bruno mentioned earlier, and also to talk about a little bit more about code spaces, because it will be both are interesting tools that you can use, especially for this project that Hack Together. So let's continue. Just like Bruno just mentioned, I'm Avril. I live in Mexico, so super happy to be here. So what is GitHub Codespaces? GitHub Codespaces is a development environment hosted in the cloud that you can customize. I'll give you a few examples in a couple minutes because I understand but what do you mean by that? So among its features is like a repeatable cloud environment experience. You can customize and configure your own code space. And it also integrates in GitHub and VS Code. So by mentioning that, it is also important to mention that you can customize your code spaces by committing configuration files into your repository, which will create this effect of repeatable experience among the users in your project. So You can also customize all the extensions in your project, such as dot files and settings, operating system, libraries, and dependencies. And there's like an interesting experience that I had in a university a couple years ago, which I will have loved to use. During that time, I will have loved to use our known code spaces. It was a while ago, to be honest. It was in a class that we were learning about Python, and each one of us had to try a different code during a project. So we, my teammates and I, we downloaded Python and we were trying some codes. The weird thing is that while I was trying a code that did work on one of my teammates' laptop, in mine it didn't work. So it was like weird. Then we find out it was because of Python's version. So we were like, oh my god. So by using code spaces, the interesting thing is that when you create your project on GitHub and you have your configuration files, each one of you can use the same. For example, in this case, for example, that happened to me a couple of years ago. You can configure which Python version you want to use. And for me, it will have been amazing because I wouldn't have ended like this little and sad cat because I didn't know that until we continued to try it. And it took us a bit longer than expected to realize that it was because of the Python version. So with cut spaces, you can use it and avoid that kind of situations, especially when if you're a student, you totally understand that, especially in final exams, you understand that time is really valuable, especially when you have delivered your project. So things happen. And another story related to code spaces, this one is actually happened to me a year ago, well, almost a year ago. It happened in September. I was going to deliver a guest lecture in a university in Mexico. That's the reason why, if you can see, here's an ajolote, carnita asada, and some music. That's the reason why I did this, so it can be relatable for any other student that was attending the guest lecture. So once I arrived to the classroom and everything was fine, I arrived in time and everything. When it was the time for me to share the slides and everything, funny thing, well, it wasn't funny. Now it's funny. That's the reason why I'm sharing this. But while I was trying to plug in the HDMI port, it didn't work in my my laptop. So I was just struggling. I didn't realize why it wasn't working because everything was in order. I did plug in the connector to the TV and everything, to the screen. It didn't seem it was working, so I was so stressed. I was so worried that it didn't work. I was wondering myself why it's not working, and it took me a while. I didn't understand why it wasn't working. The HDMI port and everything. So we tried different things. We tried changing into different ports and everything. So I was like this because I didn't expect it, like the port to become a problem because I have everything in order, the internet, my slides, everything. I had it here in my laptop, and I was like, oh my god, how am I going to do that? Because now how am I going to deliver the workshop, especially because all these people just are here. They're expecting me to deliver the workshop, so I was so stressed. I was actually praying that he could fix. So one cool idea that I was remembering is that all the slides and the code that I was going to do the show, because I was doing a demo about Azure Static Web Apps. and I remember that I had everything on GitHub. So I was thinking, oh my God. So I asked, I noticed that the teacher had his laptop. So I asked him to share his laptop so I can use it for just during the demo and everything. So we started to plug in everything. The HDMI cable did work on his laptop, but in mine didn't work. But then I logged into GitHub and I started to remember that I had GitHub Codespaces, so I didn't have to worry about, oh my God, how am I going to install in minutes everything that I needed to have, Azure, VS Code, etc. I remember that I had Codespaces, so I didn't have to worry about anything, to be honest. So I was really happy at the end because Spaces saved my my demo and everything. Like you mentioned, I didn't have to worry on about VS Code is installed, these extensions or anything. My GitHub account was logged in or anything else. It was already connected because I logged into GitHub, so it was like really nice. I was able to deliver the session, fortunately. So that's the reason I wanted to share this story because from this story you can see that even though that I use a different computer, a laptop, I was able to use my repository to deliver a workshop without me worrying about installing things or anything else. It was already, since I had everything on GitHub in my repository, I was able to just log into my account in a different laptop and it was already there. My configuration files and anything that I needed was there. So that's also like an amazing advice. Have everything on GitHub so you don't have to struggle like I did, especially if you're a student. Like if anything happens, I did hope nothing like that happens to you, especially when you're delivering your project. Just have a backup on GitHub. It will totally save you, especially with code spaces. So about this interesting is not a new, but it's something that I really wanted to share. Is that code spaces is up to 60 hours a month, free for all GitHub users. It really doesn't matter if you're a student or not, but if you're a student or a teacher, you can use code spaces up to 90 hours free per month. So that's really cool. And it's something that I really wanted to share with you all, especially if Code Spaces is totally new for you, you can use it for free. Just remember the amount of hours that you have available for free, so per month. So let's talk about our favorite tool. One of our favorite tools here, AI actually, is GitHub Copilot. But what is GitHub Copilot? GitHub Copilot is an AI pair programmer that you can use to get suggestions, like whole lines or entire functions inside your editor. So among its features is that besides it is in your editor, you can use it as an extension on VS Code, JetBrains, etc. Is that Copilot turns natural language prompts into coding suggestions across dozens of languages, and it offers also multi-line function suggestions. And another cool feature is that you can start receiving suggestions just by starting writing the code that you want, or by writing a natural language comment describing what you want to do with the code. And also another features that Copilot has is it blocks suggestions matching perfect code, filters out common valuable coding patterns, and speeds up test generation. So let's imagine, because I understand that this feature seems like it's interesting, but what can I do with Copilot? Let's imagine that you're in a road. But this is like a highway, I think. Yeah. So in this example. So let's imagine that you're driving a car. This is you. This is Copilot. Copilot is literally your Copilot. So you're in your road or in a highway and your road trip. You name it. So you can see you have like a different paths and everything. But the point of this case scenario thing is that, going back to this nice drawing I did a couple of days ago, is that Copilot is the one it's literally your Copilot. It is going to help you, it's going to guide you during your developer experience. In this case, the scenario is just like a road. Obviously, it's just in a scenario example. But the point is that Copilot is literally your Copilot. It is going to suggest you things. You can go here, you can go to the other way. It's going to give you tons of suggestions, but at the very end, you're the one who's going to make the decision whether or not to accept the suggestions. Copilot is your friend. Is only there to suggest you things at the end, and you're the one who's literally, well, not literally driving the car, but driving the project, for example. It's just like this. If we create like another example, it's like the little voice in your head, Copilot, that suggests you can choose this way. You can also go to this place, but at the very end, you're the one who's deciding what to do, not Copilot. So let's see it this way, that Copilot is just a friend that is going to be there when you need help, and you're the one who decides which suggestion to take or not. So moving forward with this, you'll hear a lot about prompts once you start to do some research more about Copilot, because this is just an introduction. We're not going to go so far with Copilot yet, but I'm very sure that you will start to use it during Hack Together, so you will hear and see a lot about prompts and suggestions. A prompt is like it's like kind of the instruction, or yeah, you'll start to see it right now. But it's like kind of the instruction that you give to Copilot that, hey, I need help with this, like in a scenario like that. That's like the prompt. But the suggestion is literally this the suggestion that the code suggestion that Copilot shares with you. So with that being said, if you're a student, the nice and coolest news that you'll hear, I hope that one of the coolest things that you hear today is that if you're a student, a teacher, or a maintainer of a popular open source project, you can use Copilot for free. You can visit this link so you can understand a little bit more about it, how you can get access to it, activate your student developer path. I will guide you in a couple of minutes, actually. So I think it's really nice. So if you're a student, you can totally use it. Like I mentioned, and it's before, Copilot is your friend. It's going to be there suggesting you things. However, you're the person who's making the decisions. Yeah. So I was aware that you're going to start contributing to open source projects, but why should you start to do that? So I will give you 3 nice examples or reasons why you should start contributing on open source projects. The first of all is because it will help you improve your coding skills with different challenges by learning new technologies and by partnering with different persons. It can totally help you to improve your skills, which is something very valuable when you're looking for a job. They will ask you also like, hey, do you have experience on these kind of projects? And by doing a open source project, it can totally help you like, yeah, I have done this I have helped with this project or anything else. It can also build your reputation and network by showcasing your work. So I think this is also like a great opportunity because it can help you to connect with other people that are like-minded, just like you, that are participating in these projects, and with that, they can connect you with other people that so you can continue working on other open source projects, or even that they can help you to get even a job. So I think it's like really um, another good reason. And the last one is that it can help you make a positive impact by solving real world problems. I think that's a really nice one, especially because you can help another person. It really is something cool. So if you have the opportunity to solve someone today, uh, that's awesome. So we'll be talking uh, right now how to get access to Copilot and install code spaces. But in order to do that, you have to activate your student developer pack. This is for the students. So I'll be guiding you with that right now. And before I share my other screen, because I'll be stopping sharing this one, um, during your process to activate your student developer pack and its benefits, they will start to asking you a few questions. It is really important that you use your university email. That's I was selecting my own personal email, but that's the reason why I had to delete this info. But the point is that you need to use your university email so you can continue with the process and they can get you the access that you need. You have to fill out this information once you log in with your GitHub account and everything. I'll explain in a couple of minutes. But I needed to show these screenshots before jumping to the URL, the website. So, and then they will start to ask you about your academic status, like a proof of it. Like you can show your student ID. You just have to make sure that it also includes a date that verifies your current enrollment. And you can also include like a Cardex, or I hear that also. Actually, there's like here's the other photo I was looking for. You can also attach a photo of a that is scholarship or financial aid letter, and all of these other proofs of that you're currently a student. So just I wanted to also mention this, that is super important, that once you submit your application, you cannot change anything. So please review carefully your everything, all the information that you have shared to GitHub. And once you have reviewed everything, you click here in the button and it will show you this screen that says thanks for submitting, and please just make sure to check your spam folder just in case, and check your email. You should receive an email from them in less than 8 days. So moving forward, let's go to talk you more about the other one. The student develop. Okay. GitHub. Awesome. Okay, I'll be sharing my screen. Ventana. Okay. Okay, give me a sec.
No problem. And hey, in the meantime, there are a couple of questions in the chat. We've been answering the questions there. A couple of interesting ones, like if we have access or do we know how the waiting or approvals list in tools like GitHub X or GitHub Chat. We really don't know. It's a different thing. Happy to help. There was, I can't remember who, but there was a kind of a special scenario where someone had access, lost it, and wanted to get in there. We're happy to help. If you want to contact us later, we see what we can do, but we don't manage that. And also, Avril mentioned the pricing scenarios, how you can use it, how you can get it for free if you're a student or an open source contributor. And there are another ones interesting, like Aidan asked if we can use code spaces in Azure DevOps. As far as I understand, no. It was Visual Studio Code Spaces, now it's Visual Studio something else. And now it's GitHub Code Spaces, so no. But again, if you have a GitHub account, you have 60 hours, and I already mentioned that, for free to use it per month, so you can give it a try. I see your screen up and running, Avril. Should I bring it?
Thank you, Bruno. No
There it
worries.
is.
Awesome. Thanks, Bruno. Okay, see. So here's the blog that I was telling you about. If you're a person who loves to read and everything, you can use it and see it later or during the stream. Is the link that I shared in the slides. But if we move forward with this, I already logged into my account. Here's the URL that you can visit, so you can start to redeem your benefits as a student in GitHub. So just give me a sec. And so the thing, after you have visit this link, you have to click here and sign up for a Student Developer Pack. It will show you this other screen. And if I move, if you can see here, I already click on the student side, but if also you're a teacher, you can also have different benefits. In my case, right now I'm not a teacher, I'm not even a student, but I'm just going to showcase this. Okay, and here's actually the questions, like what email address do you use for school, which is the one that I already showed during the slides. So in order to qualify for the student benefits, you need to consider these requirements. You must be enrolled in a degree or such as high school, college, university, or similar education institution. You need to be at least 13 years old. You need to have a GitHub user account and a university email that they can validate, so it can prove your academic status. So like I mentioned before, it is going to take you up to eight days. So it's like really quick, and it will show you the other screens that I already shared during the slides. So let's talk about a little bit more about the contest repository, just as a friendly reminder, taking into account what Natalia showed you yesterday, is that the contest repository is a collection of best practices, architecture patterns, and functional components that can be used to build and deploy modern applications to Azure. I will be showing just a little bit of what you can do with it by using Copilot. And what else? I will also show you in a bit of minutes. how you can, the steps that you can actually take to start launching your code spaces. So with that being said, I will be going create another, because I already have my one, but okay, ya la tengo. Okay, so the first thing you need to do in order to launch your code spaces, we will start to fork this repository. Well, I already have one, but the thing is that you have to choose your GitHub account. You can use the same name or change it. You click here and create fork. In my case, I already have it, so I'll go here. Okay, so now that we already forked our repository or contoso, it will look like this. As you can see, it mentioned it was forked from Azure Samples, Contoso Real Estate. So we can start working with code spaces, and after that we can start using Copilot. You can click here on create a code space in main. I already did that because going to be honest, it might take you a few minutes to for it to start. So I just wanted to show you how you can start using code spaces. You can start by doing this, like the way I show you, or you can go to this other repository. This is another project, but I wanted to show you that it can, and you can launch your code spaces in different ways. You can actually, if you're working in another repository like this one, you can click actually here, because I wanted to show you different ways that you can access to code spaces. This is another one, but in the Contoso file, we will be working like that. This is the way that I show you. Like I mentioned before, it is going to take you a while, and that's the reason why I had to create a previous code space, because I was aware of the time that it's going to take to code spaces to launch the projects and everything. So in the meantime, while we work here, I already have this one. So going back to the instructions of Contoso repository, it mentions that we need to open the terminal and use these instructions. I will be doing this, and here it will take you a couple of minutes also, and in the meantime we are waiting. This is actually the other code spaces that I already started before the demo, just to make sure everything is okay. And as a friendly reminder, it is going to pop up some messages to ask you to open some links. Okay, is the way it's supposed to be. So while we're waiting the other ones, because it will take you a couple minutes, I'm going to guide you how you can actually start writing a lesson with Copilot. So this is a quick example of what I was doing with Copilot, but you will be wondering how I did this with Copilot. So this is like a cool example. If you're learning, in this case, Python or any other language, you can literally ask Copilot, like, help, oh my god, no. Write a lesson about Python for beginners. So what Copilot will do is, and literally that's, if you notice, I'll explain this because this is a prompt, and we just saw a couple seconds ago is a suggestion from Copilot. So was like really nice. So it suggested, what is Python? I clicked on tab and I accepted the Copilot suggestion, and you will see that it started to show me more suggestions. And as you saw, I could have accepted the other one, but I wanted Copilot to show me more instructions or more things about what is Python. So the cool thing is that it is showing me this suggestion, which is Python is a programming language and is used for many things, including, let's see what happens, web development, data science, software development. It's like really cool. If you saw, I'm just doing this in a couple seconds with Copilot's help. And this is really really nice, but I don't know what happened here. Hey, chistoso. Well, my computer started to do weird things. Why? I don't know why. But oh my god, it's because I had some my mouse is over there doing weird things because I have another mouse. That's the reason why I started to do that. Sorry about that. Getting back to this scenario, it's now that it has concluded all the suggestions, it's showing me another like good reason why should I learn Python. Okay, it is showing me this. Cool, interesting. If you see, it is like showing me more stuff. But now, if I want to do, I don't know, let's do like an exercise. Look, example of a comment. Let's go with this. Well, this is nice. Exercise, write a comment below. Or I can, if you see, it starts to help me. I was going to ask it to print literally hello world, and it started to help me with it. Hello world. But now I want to print this. So let's pretend that I will do another exercise. Two. This is a nice suggestion. However, now I want to string console. This is string. So if you see, Copilot started to share with me some suggestions, but I started to tell that I wanted something different. So once Copilot is starting to analyze what I started to do, it started to showing me more suggestions. So if you can see, is first I thought I was going to ask for print hello world 5 times, but I started to mention like, no, I want to print another thing. Like, so it's understood, okay, what other thing do you want me to show you? And I was like, okay, I want you to show me print the string. So it started to suggest me that, and I accepted it. And this is this string that now that is showing. Okay, I will click run here, and voila. This is like a quick lesson that the Copilot helping me to do. Okay, so I assume that everything is going to take a while. It is still working. Nice. Because we need to have here 9 ports. Well, it is going to take a while, and I already had everything here, but the thing is that if you don't use your code spaces, it will stop running after 30 minutes, and it's the amount of time that it took me to giving you more guidance on code spaces and Copilot. So that's the reason why I had to restart code space. But okay, moving forward.
Yes,
Sí,
and sorry to
sí,
interrupt, Abril, while
sí,
we
sin
wait.
problema.
It's important to have these automatic shutdown times
Sí.
for everything, because otherwise, remember that we mentioned that you have 60 or 90 hours per month. If you have your code space up and running and you forget, in a couple of days, it's gone. So you can always start it here. One good idea also is to go to github.com/codespaces, and you have your code spaces there. And hey, there it is. And you can see which one are running. You can pause it. You can deactivate, delete. Can't remember the options for each one of them, but hey, that's another option too. Just in case, be careful that this is a great tool, but if you have everything up and running all the time, you're going to kill your hours. You're going to use all of your hours.
Yeah, just that's a great advice. Thanks, Bruno. Actually, that's and also good advice was that I have all my in this fighting scenario. With your changes, I submit all my changes to GitHub. Just remember this because if once you delete your code space, if you haven't submitted your changes, you will delete it permanently. So you can be aware of that. And what else? Now that I have submitted all my changes into my repository in GitHub, I can now delete this code space that is related to the repository Learn Python. So I will click here. And the reason why I wanted to do that is just to be mindful that I only have, depending on if you're a student or not, you may have 60 hours or 90 hours per month. So just to be careful. And so one of the things that I wanted to show here.
Avril, sorry to interrupt
Sí.
again. We lost your camera. We see.
No.
We see El Gato software, but we can't access your camera. Just in case. I mean.
Ay, no. ¿Qué cosas? Oh no. Okay. No worries. Well, I can continue because otherwise, yeah, I will have to drop the live stream and now. Okay. The important. I think I can see this. The screen is showing up, right? Right. Awesome. So, nice. As you can see in the Contessa repository, this extension is already installed, so I don't have to worry about this. But the thing that I wanted to show you, because we code spaces, is that I wanted to ask Copilot's help to help me change the background. In this case scenario, which I will leave to you as a challenge, so you can take a screenshot of this and show me what other tools you can do with Copilot in this repository. You can tag me on Twitter or LinkedIn. But in this scenario that I wanted to show you, and I did have some screenshots about this just to prevent any issues. Especially because my internet was very slow during in the early morning. So in this case, I want to show to change the background, and I want to ask Copilot's help with this. Okay, I want to ask Copilot's help with this. Nice. So as you can see, I did a prompt asking Copilot's help. Hey, help me to change the background to this one, which is a really nice green color. So once you launch the website, this is the background color that it should have. So I'll be sharing back my slides now. Okay. Oh no, I saw that my camera is not showing. Okay, so going back to the slides. Awesome. So here's just literally what I did. It has like different things that now in that opportunity Copilot was able to share. Oh my god. Bruno, can you help me to share my screen? I changed it to the slides.
There it is. There it is. And I also will bring Pablo. He will help
Awesome.
us moderating and organizing here. I need to zoom. I need to zoom. So,
Woo.
hey, Pablo, there you are.
Hi Pablo.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Abreu. It's a pleasure to be here. And Abreu, I'm sorry to enter and stop your groove, but the camera is off again.
No worries. I don't know why it's not working. Or no, I mean, if I don't know. Well, just real quick, it's the only thing that I
Okay,
was going to
no
share real
problem.
quick.
Share.
As you can see, Copilot showed me different example in this example that I did a couple of hours ago, actually. So you can see here the background and everything. What you'll have to do is go to the Portal app. You can click on the button here once you're on your code spaces, and you go to the ports section. So after Copilot's help and you have changed the color, it will show you this screenshot. Well, this is screenshot, not what this website, but that's with Copilot's help. The original one had only a white background, so it's just a small example of what you can achieve with Copilot. Obviously, you can achieve more things, but I was aware of the time we have, and so this is it, I think. So I'll be stop sharing my screens, my slides, and see. Wait,
Hey.
hi. Okay, I think I'll try something new with my camera because I don't know what
Okay.
happened.
So while Abreu tries to see her camera, I don't know. Ref, are you there already? Let me just see because I want to already ask some questions. By the way, guys, please ask our questions on the comments. We want to know everything that any questions that you have about Copilot. Copilot is an amazing tool, and I'm really proud to show this in Microsoft. This is one of the best things I believe. I'm really happy to be with Abreu. We are teammates for a long time now, so really happy to do a live stream together. Okay. Can you someone put Sean's question to Abreu? The first one. I don't know if it's showing the live stream, but okay, I got to Stanley. Okay. Does Copilot work with Visual Studio Community? I tried to use it and got this error. Abreu, if you want to answer, please go ahead. But it's you. It's you. If you don't want, I have something that we already talked on the chat.
That's a really good question. I was actually thinking, Pablo, would you have any idea why it may be showing up?
We do actually, and it should work. Even we talked with Bruno talked on the chat, right? So as far as we know, yeah, this should work. As I copy a link, I believe Stanley
Oh,
even answered on the chat already that he is going to search at the marketplace on Visual Studio.
yeah.
But
It works with Visual Studio Code. Yeah, because what you have seen in Code Spaces is like a VS Code, and so
yes,
yeah.
and that's the magic of code space, isn't it? Because it can do a lot of things. It's already pre-configured. You just single click deploy, single click develop, just single click on deploy. It's app spaces, but then not will stop. This is about GitHub Copilot. But yeah, that's one of the best things you can do is use code spaces with VS Code, and it automatically configures everything in a very nice container for you. So That's the magic of Copilot and code spaces.
Yeah, super.
I believe you already got the two things from Stanley. Let's go to Sean. Okay. There is a separate link for Copilot access for university faculty and staff. The link seems to be exclusive to students. I posted a blog post on the chat about GitHub Copilot, about GitHub explaining how can we make this available for teachers. So if you want to take a look, join the global. You need to join by the global campus. You need to be there on the conversation there. But I'm gonna copy paste again on the chat to know for your information. Abril, anything to add?
Yes, actually, on the later sharing the slides, I'll be sharing that in here in the chat. You can use the same steps as a teacher actually, so you can get have access to Copilot. Yeah, as I mentioned before, first you need to get your student developer pack, or like I show. Once you click there, it will show you two options. If you're a student or a teacher, you can totally use it. And if you continue with the blog post, it will show you the link to get access to Copilot. And so that's it. Actually, just let me look into
That's the link for the pack.
the link. Yeah, for the blog.
Okay. You want to know any more questions? Questions. I'm eager for questions. And Randy asks, will this be available for high school teachers and their students? I have currently verified GitHub teacher account.
That's a really good question. What I know about the student developer pack, it is available for high school teachers and their students. But I'm not sure about the Copilot, or just Copilot, because with Copilot it will ask you with your university email. That's what I know. But the student developer pack is totally you can totally access as a high school teacher, and your students can use it too. So yep, and they can also use code spaces up to 90 hours. So
And Randy asks another thing, but I know that the answers are gonna answer on chat. I know we have a question from Sari and Sean about Copilot, how it works. But while that, I'm gonna get the thing for. Oh, okay. Let me get the link, and then do we have any more questions? I know we have one more question. There you go. Abreu, I'm gonna read it. Many times I have observed that Copilot suggests things exactly as I wanted to. Is it because many developers written similar code, or how does it predict? How does it predict, Abreu? Tell me how it works.
what I understood, actually, I think I even have the link to it. Just give me a sec. Is that, oh my god, yes, I have the link for this. It was, since it was trained on billions of lines of code, that's the reason how Copilot turns natural language prompts, like the one that you see, into suggestions. That's maybe the reason why it is understanding the things that you want to do. So, but I will share the link to that one so you can have the information from firsthand. That is the GitHub team. So just give me a sec. Oh, I'll be sharing that in the. Okay. in the chat. So you can learn more about this. Pow, 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 pow. Voila. Okay, so here's the link in the chat so you can learn more about Copilot because it's really interesting, and thanks for asking. I don't know, Pablo, if you want to add anything else to that other question.
I can add, but I gonna have two answers here for first ready. Yes, high school students can, but they need to read the conditions. Please go to Azure for Students, and then scroll all the way down. You're gonna read Azure for Students Starter. This is our the pack for high school students. You need to read FAQs because I know it's very specific, but yes, we're gonna have certain benefits of Azure. And you can use our development pack as well. I believe it works, but you need to know. I sent it. Oh, it probably was auto censored. Let me copy paste to here the reactor PM to send this on all. Okay. Send it again. Please take a look. And for Copilot, yes, it's trained, but I must remember you that, okay, I will not be coming this into Azure OpenAI thing because I know a lot of Azure OpenAI. I talk a lot about Azure OpenAI. It's basically the talk I give all the time, but it is trained. It doesn't mean that we will do exactly the same wording because I must remember you have temperature. You have a lot of things that we can adjust, but yes, it uses a base, but it's not using just a base. It's not like it do copy paste. It's not like we're doing a collage. No, it's trying to use as a model and try to predict the next word. So it means that it's going to try to, okay, what is the vibe of this? And how can I complete this mission and just putting the next word each time? So that's how it works. So it's not copying paste, it's not doing anything. It's just is a machine of trying to predict next word each time. So sometimes yes, it can be close because maybe don't have a lot of, because remember, code we can solve in a bazillion different ways the same problem. That's the thing about the same problem, right? We can do a lot of things very differently. So how it works is basically we know that we have a problem, so it try to mix it up. It's going to try to just solve this and try to make it as bad as it can. So yeah, don't worry about copying, etc. And I got another question about is it private? Can you put it on the chat? I believe I got this one like it's private. Don't worry about private. I know we have on Copilot configuration to make it completely private. We have Copilot for business and Copilot for individuals. And Copilot for business, you can guarantee that 100% will be private with your company. Microsoft is a very diligent of data, and that's one of the things that we know business can get a lot of advantages on Copilot for business also. Don't worry, Copilot has all the solutions and private solutions for all kinds of business individuals. Sorry, I sounded like sales, but that's how much we learned about Copilot in the last couple of years. It's an amazing tool. I love this tool.
Super. Well, I think we're actually over time, actually, in 12 seconds. So thank you all for joining. If you have any more questions, please remember that you can ask them on GitHub. Actually, we have a channel, so you can join the discussion. Actually, I will drop the link here in the chat just so you all can remember this. And so just also as a friendly reminder to still register for Hack Together and submit a contribution. Here's a link, and that's pretty much it. Thank you all for your time. Thanks for joining. And here is the other link for the landing page of the Hack Together. Just give me a sec because it's loading. And okay, so you have all the links on the chat. Please remember to join us. Thanks for joining during the live stream, and enjoy Hack Together. I do hope that you have learned a lot, and I'm sure that you will continue learning with the next persons in the next live streams. So thank you.
Join Hack Together and see ya, everyone. It's a really amazing Hack Together. Gonna have a lot of events. See you later. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.